This is a fun one. I added a fun graphic in here that I saw on Twitter, and I had to put it in here. I need to see your reaction to this, Eric. So this is a question from Profit.1. So, Eric, you and AI was a small backcourt with big hearts. Do you believe the small backcourt of Maxey and McCain can succeed in today's NBA championship-wise? Okay, so that graphic right there is Tyrese Maxey. I guess it's in Allen Iverson's body, and Jared McCain in Eric Snow's body. Mm-hmm. And this is a graphic from DayQC on 12 on Twitter. So when I saw that, I had to see Eric's reaction to that.
Yeah, first I'm looking like, what is that's not me. I'm like, yeah, it kind of threw me off. You know, McCain, he got all that hair, so I wish I had his hair, but anyway. Yeah, I mean, we were small. The difference was obviously AI was small, but he was, could score amongst anyone in the league. I was considered small. I wasn't considered a small point guard. I was considered a small guard to guard the guys that I was defending because I defended bigger guys in 2s and 3s. But I was capable. I mean, that's what it comes down to, whether you're capable. AI can score it better than both of those guys, but collectively, obviously the way that they score it, they would definitely have an edge as far as scoring. Defensively, it's different because I think that's where they may struggle right now, is because when you go and you play all of these teams in the league, and most of these teams in the league, if not all, has a guard that you're going to have to defend. Like, you don't have to scheme against. And both of these guys are young guys. So to have to, on top of the demands offensively, to go out there and defend the way it's needed to be successful, is something we still kind of need to see from them. But I think they can be successful. I mean, Maxey is not as short as people kind of assume he is. I mean, because he kind of plays small, but he's not a small guy. McCain, haven't seen him in person, so I'm not really sure of his actual height standing face to face.
What are they both 6'3"?
Who is that?
Both of them? Are they both 6'3"? Is that what they are?
Maxey, when I seen Maxey, he eye to eye, he appeared to be taller than me.
Oh, really? Okay. Maxey looks at 6'2".
That's what I'm saying. He appears to be shorter, but I'm saying eye to eye, I have a picture. He's taller than me, so I don't really know if I was, I got a bad back that day and I was kind of humped over. I don't know, But the picture I had with him and my boys, he was taller than I was. So
interesting.
So maybe it was the hair. I don't know, but maybe it could be that. But he wasn't shorter, is all I'm saying. So I think that they can be successful guards. I mean, you look at some of the guard combinations in the league. I mean, they aren't much smaller than Boston's guards. They aren't much smaller than the Knicks guards. So if you look at all the different teams, like, they're not much smaller.
No, that's what I was looking at. Yeah, I mean,
yes, I'm saying, you look at Milwaukee and you look at all of those teams; they're not much smaller. It'll come down to how are we going to, as a team, defend those other opposing guards? Like when we play the Knicks, who's going to guard Jalen Brunson? So are we going to pull a guy from one of our forwards going to have to guard him, or are they going to guard him? And that's kind of where the difference is with myself and AI versus them, is we never had to pull a forward to guard a guard. When I did it, then when I went out, Aaron McKee came in and he did it. So we never had to worry about a forward coming in, and we eventually had Roger Bell and other guys. So we never had to pull from the forward position, pull them down to defend the guard position. that's where I find the issue sort of with those guys, because when James Harden was here, that part was always talked about.
Yeah.
Whereas now people don't talk about it, but the issue is still there. And for the most part, it was exposed when we played the Clippers. So that part would have to be one of those two, and maybe I don't know if I really don't know if they're capable. I know they're athletic enough to be that guy, but that's hard, man. That's hard to be able to take that offensive load and still come out and defend the way that is necessary to win. I don't know. I mean, not everybody wants to be the guys that Boston got, White and Drew Holiday, but those guys aren't much bigger than those guards that we have.
They're 6'4" and 6'4".
That's what I'm saying. They are. So guys aren't. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think guys are as big as people think they are. Then you have some guards like Luka, obviously is big.
I went through the East.
Trae Young isn't big.
The biggest guard tandems in the East are Charlotte, Miller and Ball, like 6'7" each. That's huge. That's huge. Detroit, it's got kind of a big duo. Cade and Ivy are like 6'6" and 6'5".
Ivy's I don't know if Ivy's 6'4", but 6'5", but okay, I give it to you.
Pacers are a little bigger. I think
Halliburton doesn't play big at all.
Yeah, that's true. Magic, they're both 6'5". KCP and Suggs, that's what they're listed at least.
But what I'm saying is, we're not going against the Magic, and I'm worried about their size.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
KCP's not going to bully someone to get to the
what I mean? Even with Charlotte, you would be worried about their size when they're getting shots, but I'm not worried about their size as far as dominating the paint, posting us up, putting us in any kind of trouble. That's what I'm saying. I don't really think the size is an issue. Is much more of who in the guard position is going to kind of, okay, when we want to start you two, but when we're playing Milwaukee, who's guarding Dame? Do we got to pull the forward got to guard the best guard? We play the Knicks. Who's guarding Brunson? Do one of the forwards got to guard him? Do Kelly got to guard him? Do Martin got to guard him? Like, now all of a sudden you chasing matchups and you doing all of this mixing and matching instead of just guards guarding guards. Sometimes that could be a little harder to accomplish in the game, in the scheme of things, especially when those guys are most likely going to guard one of you two.
My question is, what are we going to do against Toronto? Because they've been starting Scotty Barnes at point guard lately.
Yeah, I mean, you put them on you can put them on the weaker offensive threats if they're all this bigger.
Yeah, you put one on Grady Dick, but
I mean, you put them on whoever you think is the weaker. Is when they're all that big and they're all the same size. You put them on the weaker of the big guys, weaker offensively.
But most teams have guards. Yeah, I mean, I just looked at most, like 6'4" on average, 6'3", and maybe one team has one bigger guard than one smaller guard. But for the most part, it's around that 6'4" range. Like the Lakers have pretty big guards too. OKC, SGA is like 6'5", and Lou Dort's like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, those aren't like, that's a talent thing. That's not like a too big thing.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. So yeah, I don't.
That's what I'm saying. You're looking at LaMelo Ball, Luka, where you like, okay, these guys are like really good and a problem with their size. Outside of that, guys are just really good, but they're not necessarily too big.
Yeah, I'd say, that's probably it. Because Ant's 6'4". It's not like he's a. You're more worried about the talent.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think people realize that these guys aren't as big as you think they are.
No.
Jamal Murray's not. I mean, they're not small, but they're not like, Grant Hill, Magic Johnson big, Penny Hardaway big.
I don't think you have to worry about that with him.
It's basically Luka and LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
and neither one of those guys. I mean, Luka will use his size and strength on guys. LaMelo don't really use that. He uses height to get his shots off, but he don't really use his size as far as posting guys up.
I'd be a little worried about Maxey on Devin Booker.
But they're the same size.
I mean, Booker's listed at 6'6".
Have you seen Booker, man? You believe
He
that he's
looks 6'6".
Come on, man.
I thought he was.
He might be 6'6". He might be 6'6". He might be, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not looking at Booker and I'm saying to myself, he's too big for Maxey.
No, in fact,
if
I thought him and Ant would be a more similar size, actually.
I could see Booker. I mean, I thought he was like 6'4", 6'5", but 6'6",
yeah,
maybe right. But I'm saying I didn't look at him. I don't look at him like I do Luka or LaMelo Ball from that size standpoint.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. So no, I do not think they're too small. I just think that they will have to the team will kind of have to figure out defensively, and it may change each game how we're going to guard these tough guards, especially once you get into the playoffs when you're playing and when you've seen guys, if we can't stop them, then we better score a lot of points.
Yeah, because it's not only about being big; it's also about playing big too, right? Like that's one thing with Boston. They're not huge, they're like 6'4" each, but Drew plays big.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's sort of how it was with AI myself. It's like he can guard bigger guys. Not everyone can do that. That's a luxury for a team. It's no different than having Caleb Martin and him being able to defend the guard position and the forward position. Sort of the same thing. When you're versatile defensively, it does help the team.
Cade Cunningham is another up and coming version of one of those guys too. He's 6'6".
Like Cade's bigger, and Cade's big is 6'7" and up,
and he plays big too. That's
what I'm saying. And he's so Cade and LaMelo and Luka. I'm just saying, like, it's not as many guys. But the way a lot of those guys play, you can play your guards on other guys.
Yeah.
And those are the exceptions when you can actually put your forward on them. And in most cases, those guys also guard the forwards and not the guards.
Mm-hmm. Like, for instance,
Ball may be the only one that actually guards guards. I know Luka doesn't. They'll put Luka on someone else that's not a guard.
For instance, against Detroit, I could see us going Caleb Martin on Cade, and then on Ivy and Tim Hardaway, you put McCain and Maxey on there.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. So those situations don't really concern me as much as the Mavericks do, because you still have Kyrie.
I know.
So, so one of y'all gonna have to guard them jokers.
Yeah.
So, and then, but it's the other. Now you get into the other guards that Mitchell and Brunson and Dame and just in the East, like those guys. So now all of a sudden, who's gonna guard those guys?
We didn't have.
So then now we got to pull guys down. Now you got to worry about matchups. We play Milwaukee. Somebody can pull somebody to guard Dame, then you got to guard. So now it's like, okay, well, hope you don't switch on Giannis.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also, this is just because McCain's a rookie. I think with his build and his acumen on the court, I think he will be able to guard bigger guys eventually. I think he's got that in him. I think he can develop that. He's well built. He's not pushed around. He's very confident out there. I think he'll be able to eventually take on some of those bigger guys and not give up so much.
I think he'll be able to do that. I believe that he can do that. I believe that to a certain extent he can do it right now. I'm not sure that he's able to do that on high volume guys.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He switched on LaMelo Ball in that game when he shot that.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I'm saying when I say high volume guys, I mean, like you're for the most part, you're exclusively that guy, defending that guy from game to game.
Yes. Yes.
When I say defend, I'm not talking about a possession or a quarter. I'm talking about from game to game, you're guarding that guy.
His assignment.
Yes, like you're guarding that guy. So from those two playing together, I'm not sure if either one of them are ready for that, to be that guy from game to game guarding that best guard, which the NBA's always had great guards and they have great guards now. So,
yeah,
but someone's going to have to, and that's why, or we'll have situations where if we don't shoot well, like against the Clippers, we won't win games.
Yeah.
So when are we going to have a game where we don't shoot well and still win? Because that's going to be necessary for us to make a push in this playoff run, or to get back into the playoff seed as far as how we're going this season.
You mean win the ugly games?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to have some form of defending teams.
Yeah, we're really finesse right now,
yeah,
and not good at it.
Yeah, there was a comment on the question from Rohan Dunbar. He said, hell no to the question. And he said AI was MVP and scoring champ in his 4th season, and Eric was a tenacious defender. So people in the Sixers world still remember how good you were, Eric, at the
yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, they obviously we can talk about the past because it's been done, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, AI was, like I said, both of those guys can score, but they aren't AI. And that's not a knock. I'm just saying this, they just aren't him. And then we had to compliment them, and yes, I compliment defending, but Aaron did too. So, and we had other guys in George, and like we were good defensively as a team.
Yeah.
So for a lot of that aspect, it has to be the team defense as well. But those two, from a backcourt perspective, has to play bigger on the defensive end, especially the more minutes that they play together.
It's an exciting time, nonetheless, with the M&M backcourt. Hopefully they grow together, and we'll see what these guys can do together. But all right, well, that does it for all the questions from you guys. Really appreciate all the questions. Keep sending them out to us. We'll try to feature some of these every week, and also at DayQC12, great graphic there of Eric and AI cloned into Maxey and McCain.